Okay, let me see. And we're live. At least, let me check. Yeah, we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unresolved Crimes. I'm your host, Frank, and as always, my partner in crime, my dear, lovely Heather. Say hi.
Everybody.
There we go. So today we're covering the case about the Zodiac Killer. That's probably one of the first, I guess, serial killers or serial killer movies that I actually ever watched.
Really?
Yeah. Whatchamacallit is in it? Jack Gilligan? Or how you pronounce his name?
Is it Nicholson?
No, not the dude from Brokeback Mountain. Who was that?
I can't remember who was in Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
Honestly, I never saw it because of
Well,
what
I never
everybody said about it.
I never saw it as well, but I do know he's in it. Jack Gyllenhaal. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Shall I begin the introduction? Well,
Go ahead.
I guess the second introduction, but the introduction to the case. Okay. The Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s. The case has been described as the most unsolved murder case or cases in American history, becoming a fixture of popular culture and inspiring amateur detectives to attempt to solve it. The Zodiac murdered 5 known victims in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1969 and October 1969, operating in a rural, urban, and suburban settings. He targeted a young couple and a lone male driver, a young male cab driver. Let me see. And his known attacks took place in Benicia and the Vallejo area. I'm not sure if I said that first thing right, but I'm Dutch, so excuse me for that. I love that excuse though. So, unincorporated Napa County and the city of San Francisco proper. Two of them attempted victims survived. The Zodiac himself claimed to murdered 37 people, and has been linked to several other cold cases, some in Southern California or outside the state. The Zodiac originated the name himself in a series of taunting letters and cards that he mailed to regional newsletters, threatening killing sprees and bombing. Let me see, and bombings if they were not printed. Some of the letters, including cryptograms and ciphers, in which the killer claimed that he was collecting his victims as slaves for the afterlife. One of the 4 ciphers he produced, 2 remain unsolved, so the rest, allegedly, they were solved. But still, it's not like he confirmed it himself or so, but still. One was cracked in 2020, so that's pretty recent. That's only 2 years ago. While many theories regarding the identity of the killer has been suggested, the only suspect authorities ever published name was Arthur Lee Allen. I was going to say something, but I totally forgot. Anyways, a former elementary school teacher and convicted sex offender who died in 1992. Although the Zodiac ceased written communications around 1974, the usual nature of the case led to international interest that has sustained throughout the years. The San Francisco Police Department marked the case inactive in April 2004. Wow, that's amazing. I know a lot about this case, but I did not know it was inactive. But there we go. But it reopened. I need to read further before I say something. But reopened it at a point prior to March 2007. The case also remains open in the city of Vallejo, as well as the Napa County and the Solano County. The California Department of Justice has maintained an open file case on the Zodiac murder since 1969. So, without further ado, this is something sick, son of a bitch. Okay. Let me see. Well, I kind of need to lay out the murders, I guess. That would be kind of interesting for the people who do not know this case, but still. Confirmed murders. So, these are the murders that were actually, allegedly committed by the Zodiac, so he claimed fame to it. Although the Zodiac claimed in letters to a newspaper that he committed 37 murders, investigators agree on only 7 confirmed victims. 2 of them survived. They are David Arthur Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen. Shot and killed on December 20, 1968 on Lake Herman Road, within the city limits of Benicia. Like I said, I'm not sure if I say that name right, but still. Then the second victims, Michael Reynolds Magoo and Darlene Elizabeth Farron, shot on July 1969 in the parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. While Magoo survived the attack, Farron was pronounced dead on arrival at Kaiser Foundation Hospital. Then we go to the third victims, Brian Calvo Hartnell and Cecilia Ann Shepard, stabbed on September 27, 1969 at Lake Benicia. I'm pretty sure I'm not saying that right. Benicia? No, anyways. In Napa County, Hartnell survived 8 stab wounds to the back, but Shepard died as a result of her injuries on September 29th, 1969. And then we have, let me see, the fourth one, that's Pauline Stein, shot and killed on October 11th, and that's probably the most gruesome one, but October 11th, 1969, in a Presidio Heights neighborhood in San Francisco. Are you familiar with these cases?
Yes, definitely. I'm familiar with Zodiac. I grew up on the West Coast, in Oregon and Idaho, so that was kind of a big thing for that area. So I've heard a lot about this.
Could you tell a little bit about it? Because I obviously do not live there, not even near. So you probably know slightly more about rumors and that kind of stuff.
Not really. Just what was covered, media wise, is all I followed it. Other than that, I haven't heard any rumors or anything along those lines.
I think he was also connected to the Sherry Joe Bates case, but that's a theory, though. Since let me see, I've got this somewhere. I've got the magic in me. There we go. Sherry Joe Bates, on October 30, 1966, this was allegedly his first victim, but allegedly. On October 30th, 1966, an 18-year-old student at the Riverside City College, Sherry Joe Bates, spent the evening at campus library until it closed at 9 p.m. Neighbors reported hearing screams around 10:30. Bates was found dead the next morning. Okay, wow. So if you hear screams, you do not check at all, but okay. A short distance from the library, between 2 abandoned houses slated to be demolished for campus renovations. The wires in a Volkswagen distributor cap. Okay, let me rephrase that. The wires in a Volkswagen distributor cap had been pulled out. She was brutally beaten and stabbed to death. Ooh, that sounds really personal. A man's Timex watch was in... What? Okay, wait. A man's Timex watch with a torn wristband. A man's Timex watch was with a torn wristband was found nearby. The watch had stopped at 12:24, but police believe that the attack had occurred much earlier. Okay. A month later, on January, that does not tell that. Let's see. A month later, on November 29th, 1966, nearly identical. Okay, nearly identical typewriter. Okay, it's standing here so weird though, but still, nearly identical typewriter letters were mailed to the Riverside Police. Okay, I got that. At the Riverside Press Enterprise, titled "The Confession," the author claimed responsibility for Bates' murder, providing details of the crime that were not released to the public. The author warned that Bates is not the first and shall not be the last. In December 1966, a poem was discovered carved in the bottom side of a desktop in the Riverside City College library. And I see. Well, apparently this is where kind of the rumor starts, though, because apparently there was a guy, and I'm not sure. I'm gonna check out his name. There was a guy that also worked at that library. He also wore combat boots, and we kind of will go further into that detail alongside the podcast. But he was kind of like really introverted guy, but he had like a crush on Sherry Joe Bates. And after her murder, I do not think anybody saw him again, but I'm not entirely sure. So. Breaking stuff here. Let me see. What was that guy's name? Sherry Jobits. There's even a photo with the two of them. Let me see. Excuse me. Okay, see when oh, it's storming here, or thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. This guy. Okay, I see his photo, but I kind of hate that I cannot see his name. Okay. Just give me a minute. I know I did my homework, but still so unprofessional. There we go. Roz Sullivan. Let me see. Investigators suspect the killer was logical, since he appeared to know which dimly lit alleyway he could use to get away with murdering her. The assailant also knew that the two houses on either side of the alley were vacant, and Sherry Joe was a smart girl with a fiancé. She wouldn't walk into darkness with some strange man. For these reasons, detective surmised the killer was somebody she knew. So, that's interesting. And, well, the Zodiac Killer are kind of like different MOs, right? Like, he shot people and he basically knifed people. And if we kind of go through the logic about serial killers, they do not... Well, they kind of do change MOs, like, alongside the way as they learn. But I'm not really feeling like the Sherry Joe Bates case has something to do with the serial killer. So let me read like the first letter that the Zodiac Killer actually sent to the Vallejo Times Herald, and also the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Francisco Examiner. Wow, this guy was really thriving on something. He really wanted attention for these kills. All right, I like killing people because it's so much fun. It's more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all. Sometimes it gives me the most thrilling experience. There are a lot of typos in here, so anyways, that's in the letter. But it is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl, and the best part is when they die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all that I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name, because you will try to slow me down or stop my collection of slaves for my afterlife. Then some gibberish. Oh, this is actually a solution of the 408 symbol cipher. The solution of the Zodiac 408 symbol cipher solved in August 1969, including a faithful translation of spelling and grammar. Okay. So there were also a few suspects, and the known suspect that I believe who actually did it was, well, the guy that people actually arrested for this. That's Arthur Lee Allen. But we will come in a second, though, because I think there is kind of a logic behind it. But still, well, let's go into the suspects. Did you ever read a book about the Zodiac?
I have not read the book, no, but I heard it's great.
Mm-hmm. It kind of goes in detail about Arthur Lee Allen his life. Alright, Arthur Lee Allen. Robert Graysmith's book, The Zodiac, advanced Arthur Lee Allen, who died in 1992, as a potential suspect based on circumstantial evidence. And believe me, there are some circumstantial evidence. It's pretty much amazing that nobody actually... there's so much evidence about this guy, of him being the guy, that it's just amazing that they didn't solve this. But still. Let me see. Allen had been interviewed by the police from the early days of the Zodiac investigations and was a subject of several search warrants over a 20-year period. Wow. In 2007, Graysmith noted that several police detectives described Allen as the most likely suspect. Word. Totally agree. In 2010, Dave Tashi stated that all evidence against Allen ultimately turned out to be negative. Okay. I do not agree, but still. Tashi's daughter said that in 2018, her father had always thought that Allen had been the killer. Who's Tashi? Okay, it does not say here, but they did not have the evidence to prove it. Mark Ruffalo, who portrayed Tashi in the 2007 film Zodiac, I think that's like a reporter or something, commented, If you get into who these cops were, you realize how they have to take their hunches, their beliefs, their personal beliefs out of it. Dave Tashi said to me, as soon as that guy walked in the door, I knew it was him. Okay, that's kind of. Is it like psychic? Maybe. I mean, I agree. I agree, though. I mean, it's definitely this guy, and I will tell you in a second, though, because there's so much logic behind it. He was sure he had him, but he never had a solid piece of evidence. So, I can imagine how frustrating that is. That you know by your gut that somebody is like the perpetrator, and you can't get like the evidence. I mean,
right.
Don't forget, this guy sent letters to the police to taunt them that he did that.
Right? Just like rubbing it in.
Exactly. I mean, how frustrating must that be for like the police? It's like Jack the Ripper, you know?
Yup.
Oh, that would be a good case to cover, though, but... I believe it's kind of similar, though, because if you look at the Jack the Ripper case or cases, for example, he did not only he murdered a lot of prostitutes, but he also sent like bloody pieces of clothing, and that's what he did with Paul Stein as well. But with Paul Stein, it kind of bothers me because that's the only person who was not a couple. But he. I think he shot him in the head, then tore a piece of his clothing off, and then let it be sent by the police. And they almost caught him though. That's where the sketch actually comes from. And you know what actually baffles me is that like the way he killed people. Like in certain cases, or in a lot of podcasts that we made, I always say like people are creatures of habit, right? So there has to be like
Right.
somewhat of a pattern between killings. And with this
Definitely.
and with this guy, he goes like all over the place. Like he shoots people, then he knifes people, and two of the males actually survived. So I'm kind of suggesting like he had something for the women, because well, if you knife somebody, that's like somewhat personal. Does not always have to be, but he always attacked like the man first, like to get like somewhat of a competition out of the way, I guess, or like any struggle. And then that's the thing that bothers me though in all this. Like I get like the parts about the couples being killed, like young lovers that are parked somewhere and then being shot, because that shows a pattern, right? But then the cab driver was like totally not his MO. Which is weird, I guess. But still. So, what do you think though? No, for example, the stupid question maybe. If you would be a serial killer, and you do it like for the thriving part, you know, like he says, killing wild game in the forests, or killing humans is more fun than killing wild game.
Okay.
Why would you search attention like with the Vallejo Times Herald?
Why?
Yeah.
Ain't no telling. Like, I honestly could put my head into what a person would think, because I could never to a person, but
Well, I guess for attention, he wants to take pride in what he did.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, if I were a serial killer, I would try to be quiet about it, like not be found out.
But that's the psyche of this guy, though, and that's what makes it so interesting. You have this guy that literally taunts police, and that screams serial killer all over the place.
Yeah.
But the question is, though, like, if he only, well, if I think about it, that I'm guessing usually a serial killer, and I'm saying this like not out of experience, not that I'm like a serial killer or something, but most serial killers target like lonely women, so prostitutes and that kind of stuff. At least a lot of them do. Not all of them, but a lot of them do, and they don't get caught, for example, because they don't have any family or any like people that they were with that saw them being killed, for example. So that's just an easy target. But this guy killed two people several times. So that could be kind of a part of jealousy, I guess. And he always killed the man first. And it's almost like he got off on how the women like reacted. Because if you have the lake, no, let me see, is it this one where they got stabbed? Oh, that's not the one. Lake Benicia murder. There we go. So you have this couple that was picnicking in Lake Benicia, and this guy actually survived, and he described pretty much like the known sketch that we got from the Zodiac Killer. And but what I'm questioning though, So this man survived. He didn't have all too deep stab wounds.
Okay.
And they, let me see. He described a man approaching them wearing a black execution-type hood with clip-on sunglasses over their eye holes. Sorry, I'm just laughing about that. That's an extremely funny word. And a bib-like device on his face. Okay, could you explain me what is a bib?
I don't know what a bib is.
Okay, fair enough. I will. Anyways, that had a white tree. By 3 inches. Or white 3 by 3 inches. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but cross symbol on it. Oh, a bib is like what babies have to mess their food on.
A bib.
A bib. Ah, there you go.
Why would a grown-ass man be wearing a baby bib?
I have honestly no clue. But apparently, he had a Zodiac symbol on it. So a cross-circle symbol on it. He approached them with a gun, which Hartnell believed to be a .45. The hooded man claimed to be an escaped convict from jail with a 2-word name. Okay. And I always love that people rather recollect visually than when you say someone the name. But I guess that's anyone on their own though. In either Colorado or Montana, that's where the guy apparently escaped from. Police officer later inferred that the man had been referring to the jail in Deer Lodge, Montana, where he had killed a guard and subsequently stolen a car. Sorry. Explaining that he now needed their car and money to travel to Mexico because the vehicle that he'd been driving was too hot. Okay, what's like the psychology behind that? Why would he say that? Why would he engage into a whole dialogue before killing them?
I don't know. That is odd. The stab wounds to the guy that survived were superficial, right? Like they obviously survived. Have they looked into that? Maybe
he did it.
He's the one who staged it.
Yeah, I was thinking when I read it as first. I was like, yeah, totally, this guy did it. But then what they found as well was scratching in blood on the car, Vallejo 12/20/68, 7/4/69, September 27, 69 6:30 by knife. How weird is that?
Weird.
And you actually, I'm gonna show this. You have an interview with this guy, and he's acting so cold. He's in a hospital.
Mhm.
And he kind of reacts just stone cold. There's no emotion in him, while his girlfriend apparently is about to die.
Right.
Okay, let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, what's the dude's name again? Then you would almost suggest that he would be it, right? I mean, superficial cuts.
Right. I've heard of people doing crazier, so I wouldn't put it past that being a theory.
Mm-hmm. But then I still believe that Arthur Lee Allen also killed some of those people, though. But then again, they could have been working together. I mean, it's still unsolved, so everything is on the table.
Right.
But I do not get the dialogue. I honestly do not. What? And if he was okay, so this is kind of blowing my mind while I'm thinking about this. Why would somebody that is being dressed up in this attire, that's not a regular attire like if you escape from jail, right?
Right.
So, yeah, obviously he was lying, but still. And this is let me see.
It just seems like too convenient that he survived and he's the one that's giving the description and he's the one telling the story when there's really no other witnesses. So that is odd.
Exactly. Okay, so let me pull up this interview. What's the dude's name again? D D D D D. Brian Hartnell. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's so strange. That's so strange. Okay, wait. Video. No, I do not want that. Window caption. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay.
Conclusive enough to link the murderer of Celia Shepard to other murders in the Vallejo area in the past year.
Anywhere in the Bay Area or anywhere, he should go to the nearest law enforcement agency and turn himself in. And we will try to do whatever we can to help this man.
Does it seem to you as if you're pretty much on the verge of finding this man?
Well, I wouldn't want to say that, Dave. We're hoping. We've got some good things working for us, but it takes time. And to be able to reach out and pluck this guy out of the air isn't done. In most murder cases, you'll find a motive.
There we go.
But
The first thing you told the deputy out there was to give some idea of a description of the man. Do you understand now how your mind was able to work that well under those conditions? That you really did an exceptional job in that.
Well, to the whole thing, like I mentioned before, at the beginning, I did think I was going to die. And so from that moment on, one has to have certain goals that you have to set. The first goal, of course, was to live. I suppose the second goal was to get untied. The next one was to get help. From getting help, getting to the hospital. You know, you have to have a successive set of goals. And if you can keep this going, and you can keep your...
Okay, so wait. While he got stabbed, he was thinking about certain goals in his life, or the situation where he was at. You have to think about certain goals, he said. What goals are those? Okay.
To live?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get that. But I will be like completing or freaking the fuck out, but still.
Of
mind
course.
I don't, whether you die or not, you're at least psychologically attuned, whether you're in shock or not. If you can keep arguing with yourself, praying, doing anything to keep your mind off of yourself, or at least just not lapsing back and just saying, well, it's no use.
Okay. Do you have more of him?
And when we were at this robbery stage, I didn't consider any real threat to my life or to the girl or anything. I really didn't consider this, but I really wanted to help him. And
Did he seem as though he would like your help at all?
No, he didn't, and he didn't even end up taking the money. But I
bear no grudge.
Well, of course not. I don't think that he was acting under his total complete consciousness. And one of
Okay, hold on. What did you just say? The girl?
Think about acting in utter complete consciousness, unconsciousness.
Oh, that's not the thing. He said the girl.
Had absolutely no thought that he was anything but that. And when we were at this robbery stage, I didn't consider any real threat to my life or to the girl or anything. I really didn't consider this, but I really wanted to help him.
Did you hear that?
Did he seem as though he would like your help at all?
No, he didn't, and he didn't.
Okay, I have a couple of thoughts about that, but
he
Bear no grudge.
Well, of course not. I don't think that he was acting under his total complete consciousness. And when a man is, if you don't mind using the word sick, you can't hold this against them. But the real concern that I have is that he doesn't do this again. I'd like to see some people save this experience.
Early last Saturday evening, Celia Shepard and Brian Hartnell, both in their early 20s, were sitting on this knoll of land overlooking part of Lake Berryessa. They thought they were alone, but there was a third man on this knoll, a man who wore a medieval-style executioner's hood, carried a knife and gun, and intended to use them.
Is that a terminology of that age, maybe?
Maybe?
I mean, Lake Berryessa is pretty big.
Yes.
I mean, sure, I believe in happenstance, but like seeing this video, like I'm not wanting to point fingers, but okay, wow, I need to think that over one more time. That's just amazing. But that's same with the Sherry Joe Bates case, though. That her car got sabotaged.
Okay.
So what does that say? It means that somebody need to have like car knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, at least that's my logic, though.
Her car was vandalized?
Sabotaged. She couldn't start her car.
Okay, yeah, so
So-
like premeditation for sure.
Yeah. And she got beaten to death, though, so that's like a totally different MO. But still, it is linked to the Zodiac Killer because it was in the same time span of that year and in the same area. And I believe that this killer did everything with like an impulsivity. Like he didn't really think it through, because I cannot see. I do see like a pattern, but not such a pattern that you can say from he planned like everything out. It was like kind of a spur in the moment thing. Like much serial killers actually do that, but let me see. Okay, there's nothing to see here anymore. So you have this guy that writes letters. Fair enough. Jack the Ripper did the same, but he did do encrypted style letters to the police, like to give them a challenge. He even suggested that his name was in these encrypted letters and that his identity was in there. Do you think that is something an intelligent person would do, or?
No.
No, I'm merely saying that. I mean, sure, you got to go with murder, but not all serial killers are that smart. I mean, you just happen to get like away because they didn't have that much capability, I guess, to search people nowadays. For example, last year, a really famous reporter here, a crime reporter, got killed. And they caught the perpetrators within a half an hour because of cameras.
Nice.
And back in that time, I mean, it's also a fact though that a lot of serial killers were active back in those days, the 1950s, around that time span, for example. But due to cameras, well, as we discussed the Elizabeth Barraza case, there are cameras, but still it remains unsolved. But
Right.
okay, so I'm kind of wanting to know like the whole psychology behind it, but he kind of already says that he thinks it's fun to kill people, so he does that for a thrill, right?
Right.
So that does mean that he's a hunter. That's what he thinks he is, because he says he likes to kill wild game. And guess who killed wild game? One of the main suspects.
Exactly.
And that's where my logic comes in, though. And that's my logic, and that's my honest opinion about it. But still, let's figure out like the whole name Zodiac. What does that mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah. Like, if I ask you, what does Zodiac mean? What would you what would your first thought be?
Well, isn't like zodiac like within the heavens or something? Isn't that what it means? It's like
Isn't it a calendar? An
the
animal?
belt of the heavens within 8 degrees either side of the ecliptic, including all apparent positions of the sun, moon, and most familiar planets. It's divided into 12 equal divisions or signs.
It has to do with the zodiac signs.
Zodiac, I think of like Aries, Taurus, Gemini. That's what I think of.
Uh-huh. So it has to do with the zodiac signs. And what are zodiac signs? They are animals.
Yeah.
Remember that he said that he liked killing wild game?
Oh.
And what is wild games? Animals, right?
Oh.
So I'm seeing like once I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that's so logical. So I always kind of go like when people kind of make up their own nickname, that is like a certain well, not pride, I guess, but a certain arrogance they have, and especially with the letters. This guy had some balls. He had the cojones to name himself.
Right.
And
wait for the media to do it. He went ahead and helped himself.
well, I assume that a lot of hunters, and excuse me for all the hunters that are listening here, I kind of get a feeling like, sure, you do it like for meat and stuff, and fair enough, but yeah, I'm pretty sure like if there is like a serial killer, they have like a god complex. They like to control the situation.
Okay.
Okay. You don't always have to agree with the other. I can be wrong.
I'm personally, I'm not a hunter. I grew up in the country. All my friends went hunting and stuff like that. But I've never. I've gone out shooting guns, sure, but I've never actually shot an animal. I'd cry.
Really? Are you that are you that kind of loving a sweet person?
Well, yeah, like I don't know. I personally couldn't bring myself to end the life of anything unless it was a spider.
Yeah, everybody hates spider. What do you call that again? Arachnophobia? Phobia? Yeah. See, I can be smart like that. So I'm just like assessing the whole murder part, right? And I love psychology, so I always do that. I always analyze stuff. So, like I said, it is definite reason would be just for the thrill. So there's no like female part about it, or sexual activity, for example. I'm kind of feeling like John Kelly here. Oh, by the way, he's a profiler, so he does a lot of Delphi stuff and a lot of on other cases. And he always goes like, yeah, it's John Kelly here, profiler. I kind of want to do that next time. Frank here, profiler. No, but still. So you have this guy that kills people around in the San Francisco area. There's no apparent pattern to that unless that he kills couples. And then all of a sudden, he killed a cab driver.
Right.
Could it be possible? Could it be a copycat?
There's a possibility.
Well, like I said,
I would think that somebody who taunts the police with letters and cryptic signs, etc., I think he would take great offense if somebody was claiming his work as their own.
That's a real good one.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
because like he's gonna be that narcissist. What I'm assuming, because he goes out of his way to taunt the police, to taunt the media, to taunt the people. You know, like it's like neener neener boo boo. So I'm certain if somebody was copycatting, he would have a huge issue with that. And I'm saying he because I'm assuming he, just the general. May not be the right pronoun. I don't know.
No, I agree though. But there were a lot of copycats though. A long time later though, there was even a Japanese Zodiac Killer, and I think in Germany also. Let me see. There was on top of this. No. For the New York City Zodiac copycat, okay, I cannot. I thought my English was good, but apparently not that good that I can pronounce this. And for the Japanese Zodiac copycat, see Kobe child murderers. Okay, so how can I pronounce a Japanese Zodiac murderer, but not the New York one? Okay. Okay, so we have this guy that killed five. He has 5 confirmed kills, and 2 injured. But both of the guys that both of them who survived were males. So I'm just like putting the well, for me, kind of thinking about the logic. Isn't like the hatred more against the women than towards the men? Because if you have that Lake Berryessa murder, I think that woman got stabbed 36 times, I think. Let me see. There's like so much information. And unfortunately I do not have a photographic memory. Okay, so he held him at gunpoint. The killer had brought pre-cut lengths of plastic clothesline and told Shepard to tie up Hartnell. Okay. The killer checked and tightened Hartnell's bonds, but still he escaped though. Discovering that Shepard had bound Hartnell's hands loosely, so he checked that. Hartnell initially believed that this event to become a bizarre robbery, but the man drew a knife and stabbed them both repeatedly. Hartnell suffered 6. What? Hartnell suffered 6 stab wounds and Shepard 10 wounds in the process. Okay, so that's not that. Well, I've seen people been stabbed like 87 times. The killer then hiked 500 yards. Okay, how does he know that the killer hiked 500 yards? I mean, you're in excruciating pain. Drew the cross circle on Hartnell's door, and with a black felt tip pen wrote beneath it. Well, I said it before. Vallejo 12, 26, 16. Okay. That's weird. Okay, then we have the Presidio Height murders. 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, a white male passenger entered the cab, driven by Paul Stein, at the intersection of Mason and Geary Streets. That's 1 block west from Union Square in San Francisco. Requesting to be driven to Washington and Maple Street in Presidio Heights for reason unknown. Stein drove 1 block past to Sherry Street, and the passenger then shot Stein once in the head with a 9mm handgun. Took Stein's wallet and car keys. Okay. And tore away a section of Stein's bloodstained shirt. The perpetrator was observed by 3 teenagers across the street, 9:55. Oh my God, that takes extreme balls. But then again, he probably did not notice those 3 teenagers.
Right.
So, like I said, there's a certain, when you do like killings, I assume you do like your homework, and that's why I was saying I think this is a spur of a moment thing, like an impulsivity kill. and they phoned the police while the crime was in progress. Okay. They observed the man wiping the cab down before he walked away. Okay, so that's like not like a crazy person that just killed somebody. He's like wiping away
Right,
evidence.
he's wiping his prints.
Exactly.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Wiping the cab down before walking away towards the Presidio. 1 block to the north. 2 blocks from the crime scene, patrol officers Don Fauke and Eric Selms responded to the call. Observed a white male walking along the sideway east on Jackson Street and stepped onto a stairway leading up to the front yard of one of the homes on the north side street. Okay. The encounter lasted only 5 to 10 seconds. Fouke estimated that the white male pedestrian had to be 35 to 45 years old, 5'10" tall, with a crew cut. Okay, what's a crew cut?
Crew cut, it's a haircut. It's like a high and tight. Like you've got the shave and the fade on the bottom, and then the top has like a little bit of hair. Crew cut.
Okay. Similar to, but slightly older than the description provided by the teenagers who observed the killing in and out Stein's cab. The teenagers described the suspect to be 25 to 30 years old with a crew cut. Okay, so that dude had a crew cut. That's pretty sure. And standing approximately 5 feet 8 inches. Well, I'm guessing between 5 feet 10 and 5'8" is not that differential, is it?
See you later.
See you later, alligator. To 5 feet 9 inches. Okay, so I guess the height actually corresponds. However, the police radio dispatcher had alerted officers to. Okay, how? How the fuck is this possible? Okay, so you have these 3 teenagers calling about a white male. So listen to this. However, the police radio dispatcher had alerted officers to look out for a black suspect. What? So Fouke and Selves.
Where did the black suspect come from?
Yeah, I was back in that time, right?
Okay.
If I can turn back time. So Fouke and Selms drove past the perpetrator without stopping. The mix-up in the description remains unexplained. A search ensued, but no suspects were found. This was the last official confirmed murder by the Zodiac Killer. But he did make... that's actually here, so okay, never mind. The Stein murder was initially believed to be a routine robbery that had escalated into a homicidal violence. However, on October 13th, the San Francisco Chronicle received a newsletter from the Zodiac that claimed credit for the killing and contained a torn section of Stein's bloody shirt to prove his fact. The teen witnessed work. The three teen witnesses worked with the police artist to prepare a composite sketch of Stein's killer. A few days later, a police artist returned, working with the witness to prepare a second composite sketch. Detective Bill Armstrong and Dave Tashi were assigned to the case. But, okay. The San Francisco Police Department investigated an estimated 25,000 suspects over a period of years. Okay. Let me see. Okay, then we have the suspected victims. Various authors speculate at the time of the killing that other murders and attack may have been the work of the Zodiac, but none of them have been confirmed. So I'm guessing this is not. They do not actually state names here. So. Wait. We have Sherry Joe Bates, Donna Lass, Kathleen Johns, and a discussion of other possible attacks. Oh, yeah, I remember. There was this one lady who got kidnapped by allegedly the Zodiac Killer. She had a baby with her. They were hitchhiking, or I think the lady, her car broke down. And well, there was like a whole dialogue. I cannot really remember, but the lady was so scared that she was gonna be killed. But then, for some reason, she let them go.
Okay. Do you think that has any credibility to it, or could it just be like, oh hey, I got kidnapped, but I'm good now? Is it a
No.
did it really happen, or was it for attention?
That could be as well. That could be as well. Definitely. But anyways, so we have different. Along the years, we have different suspects about this case, and the suspects are of course, Arthur Lee Allen, Gary Francis Post or Poste, and there were other suspects. In 2018, an independent inquiry by an Italian journalist, Francesco. Okay, I'm totally gonna fuck this up, but Francesco Amicone. Okay, that's rain. Implicated Joseph, aka Giuseppe. Okay, cannot. Bellifuqua? Yeah.
Sure.
Fuck that. I'm not gonna do that. Former superintendent of the Florence American Cemetery and the Memorial as a suspect in both the Zodiac and the Monster of Florence murder cases. Okay. In 2009, an episode of the History Channel television series Mystery Quest investigated newspaper editor Richard Gayokovsky during the time of the murders. Okay, then you have the retired police detective Steve Hodel argues in this book that the Black Dahlia Avenger, that his father, George Hodel, was also the Zodiac Killer. And then, these are the most known, though. It's Lawrence Kane. Later, Lawrence Kane, Kathleen Johns, who claimed to be abducted by the Zodiac Killer. Oh, I just said that. So I'm kind of proud of myself that I had that forehand knowledge, but still. Picked out Kane in a photo lineup. Patrol officer Don Falk, who possibly observed the Zodiac Killer following the murder of Paul Stein, said that Kane closely resembled the man he and Eric Zelms encountered. But still, a lot of people compare the sketch to like real life photos, but a sketch is not a photo. It's a resemblance, but still.
Right.
Then you have Richard Marshall. Police informants accused Richard Marshall of being the Zodiac Killer, claiming that he privately hinted at being the murderer. Okay, you know what? And then you have Ross Sullivan. That's the person that allegedly killed Sherry Joe Bates. He was working in the same library. Sullivan was a library assistant at the Riverside College and was the suspected by co-workers who said that he went missing for several days after the murder. Sullivan resembled sketches of the Zodiac and wore military-type boots. Well, that's kind of overdressing if you work at a library, but still. Guess it could be like a precaution if like a really heavy book falls on your toes or something, but still. Oh yeah, the Zodiac wore also military-style boots with footprints like those at the Lake Berryessa crime scene. Sullivan, who was hospitalized multiple times for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Okay, that's odd, but still. Like I said, I do not think those cases have anything to do with each other, though. But still.
I don't think so either.
Then we have a former California Highway Patrol officer, Lyndon Leverty. Leverty? Okay, that's a really cool name. Lyndon Leverty. Said that the Zodiac Killer was a Oh, no, you gotta be kidding me. The Zodiac Killer was a 91-year-old Salona County, California man. He referred to the pseudonym George Russell Tucker, using a group of retired law enforcement officers called Mandamus 7. Leverty discovered Tucker and outlined an alleged cover-up. Okay, that's really far. A 91-year-old, come on. Unnamed suspects. Okay, then there's no name, so it's like no point. But in 2009, former lawyer Robert Tarbox. Okay, no clue why that name made me laugh, but so was disbarred in August 1975 by the California Supreme Court for failure to pay some clients. Said that in the early 1970s, a merchant mariner walked into his office and confessed to him that he was a Zodiac Killer. The seemingly lucid seaman whose name Tarbox would not reveal based on the confidentiality. Okay, so he has like confidentiality, but he can't say that he like witnessed somebody that actually said that, but still, was not confident enough to actually tell his name. Described.
So basically, just hearsay.
Yeah, I guess that. Well, he described his crimes briefly, but persuasively enough to convince Starbucks. The man said that he was trying to stop himself from this opportunist murder spree, but never returned to see Starbucks again. Well, I guess that could happen, but still. In 2010, a picture surfaced of the known Zodiac victim Darlene Ferrin, an unknown man who closely resembled the composite sketch, formed based on eyewitness description of the Zodiac Killer, according to America Most Wanted. On February 9, 2011, police believed the photo was taken in San Francisco in the middle of the 1966 and 1976. Okay, that's interesting. Culprits. Oh, wait. I'm starting a halfway sentence, and apparently it's a total wrong one. Okay. Sandy Betts is an amateur Zodiac researcher who claims that researcher who claims that people responsible for the Zodiac attacks repeatedly harassed and attacked her. What? She stated that three men were the primary culprits, and that at least one of them, these core members, is identified and still lives in the San Francisco Bay Area. Well, I do agree that like if you look at the area he killed, then he would be a local, right?
Yeah.
According to researcher, cleared suspects. Okay, so this sounds really stupid what I'm now saying because he's a real famous serial killer, but still. According to researcher Tom Fogged, fingerprints comparison in February 1989 eliminated the 1970s serial killer Ted Bundy as a person of interest. It's kind of weird to see that in a way, that Ted Bundy is getting cleared for something. And then a serial killer, Edwards, who committed 5 murders between 1977 and 1996, was linked to the Zodiac murders on several other unsolved cases by former cold case detective John A. Cameron. Good job, Cameron. And then you have Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. Yeah, he is the Unabomber, right? Yeah, he is the Unabomber.
Yeah.
See, I do not need to question myself. I know my serial killers when I see one. Or when I read one. A domestic terrorist and a mathematician, also known as the Unabomber, was investigated for possible connection to the Zodiac killing. I'm pretty sure like it's in the same time span, right? But it was totally not his MO. But fair enough. And then you got the Charles Manson. The Manson family. The following, the capture of Charles Manson and his murderers, called a 97 report by the California Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation, stated that all male members of the Manson family had been investigated and eliminated as Zodiac suspects. But, okay.
I think your brain is going faster than...
Yeah, I know. There's like so much to read on this, but still. Okay, so what do you believe? Are these multiple people?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that?
Just because it's a little different, like, MO seems a little different, and, serial killers have, like, basically a ritual of how they go through their process, and then it evolves with them as they continue down their road. So
it seems
I think that there's a couple of discrepancies within the cases. Like I don't think all of the cases are linked together.
It kind of seems like all over the place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I in somewhat of a degree do believe that you have 2 killings that actually were in lover lanes. So I do believe that from the same pattern that they got killed. that that must be like one guy. But then the other killings, for example, I'm like, nah. But he actually kept score as well.
Yeah.
He's like Zodiac sign, plus 12, SFPD, that's the San Francisco Police Department, 0. So I was really enjoying this. What would that paradise be, though? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not that religious, right? But what kind of paradise would it have to do something with Satanism?
Possibly.
But that's kind of the point, though. You never know, like, you have, for example, terrorist attack that ISIS claims and they weren't even there, you know. Then I'm guessing this guy got too much proud of getting all the attention.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to get like all the attention, he would have made sure that all of his kills were confirmed by him. So he would have like getting evidence, and then send them, for example, to the police department.
Right.
But okay, so this main suspect we have, Arthur Lee Allen, he actually was a school teacher, and he got arrested because of child molestation charges, I think. So he lived at his parents in how do you call that? Mobile homes? Yeah. He had a lot of stuffed animals on the wall, and he had a Zodiac watch.
Okay.
So if you will read into this guy, you will get why I think it's him. But I do not think he killed, like... I cannot prove that, unfortunately, but it's a hunch. It's a feeling.
Right.
Let me see, where is he at? Okay, wait. Oh. Okay, so this guy, he's really scary, though. Okay, the suspect, Arthur Lee Allen. Sergeant John Lynch of the Vallejo Police Department was one of the detectives assigned to the investigation, the shooting at the Blue Rock Springs Park. Like his fellow investigators, Lynch spent as much of the time shifting through the relentless reports from private citizens who were convinced that they knew the identity of Zodiac. Most of these reports were the results of nothing but suspicion. That's kind of the main thing that we do here as well, but still. Not kidding. And many of them claimed proved false upon further examination. Daily entries in the Vallejo police reports indicated that Lynch reportedly checked as many as 5 or 6 suspects a day. Okay, wow. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yes.
But I want more information on him. Okay, hold on. There's like a lot of suspicion that he did it. Allegedly, his favorite book was The Wild Game, I think. That's what we also read in one of those letters.
Mm-hmm.
According to police statements, within days of receiving the watch, that's the watch with the Zodiac sign on it, Allen is alleged to have made these claims to his friend Don Cheney.
Hi, Real.
He would like to kill couples at random. He would taunt the police with letters detailing his crimes. He would sign the letters with a cross circle symbols from his watch. He would call himself the Zodiac. He would wear a makeup to change his appearance. Well, he can wear as much makeup as he wants. It's not getting any prettier. He would attach a flashlight to the barrel of his gun in order to shoot at night. That happened actually. was a couple that was driving. I'm not sure what route it was, but the person they stopped, and the person did impersonate a police officer, so they stopped, and they were directly shot. But that's pretty sure. I'm not. I'm not sure if that is a Zodiac case though. Yeah, it is. It is definitely. He would fool women into stopping their cars in rural areas. Oh, by claiming that they have problems with their tires, then losing their lug nuts and eventually take them captive. So there we go with that abduction story. Don eventually took this information to the police in 1972. The San Francisco Police Department, or the SFPD, was able to secure a search warrant against Allen as the Zodiac Killer. Unfortunately, SFPD elected to search a trailer that Allen frequented in nearby Santa Rosa. Instead of searching his home at 32 Fresno St. in Vallejo, nothing incriminated was found. Then what should they have found? I mean, sure, I get like the search warrant part, but if you would kill somebody, wouldn't you? How stupid would you be to get like the killing items that you used and put them in your home? I mean, that would incriminate you, but still. According to the police statement, in the early 1968, a conversation with his friend Philip, Allen is alleged to have been fascinated with the concept of hunting people. According to Allen, people would be more challenging to hunt than animals since they have intelligence. Well, animals have intelligence too, you dumb fuck, but still. Well, he's dead though, so it doesn't matter that I talk that way. On July 31, 1969, Zodiac mailed a cipher to the news media. Within days, it was solved and stated that the killing was more fun than killing wild game in the forest because a man is the most dangerous animal of all. Additionally, during the 1971 police interrogation, Allen offered the fact that as a youth he had read a book that made a lasting impression on him. The book was called The Most Dangerous Game and was about hunting a man like an animal. On June 15, 1958, Allen was arrested by the FPD of Vallejo Police Department. Okay, cool. And charged with disturbing the peace. I bet he did. The result of the altercation was acquaintance Rolf Spinelli. The charges were dismissed on July 8th, 1958. Okay, I'm not sure what that has any to do with like the incrimination info we are trying to get here, but still. According to the statement, according to a statement to police by family and friends prior to the publication of the Zodiac codes, all had possession of codes featuring identical symbols. Additionally, Allen was known to use the same unusual spelling. Okay, so this guy was a teacher and he had unusual spelling. Okay, so how did he become a teacher? Such as spelling Christmas, Merry Christmas, instead of Merry Christmas. He was using Mech, apparently. Mechy Christmas? Oh, instead of a Merry Christmas, he used like Xmas with double S. And saying trigger mech instead of trigger mechanism. Okay. Allen would initially misspell words to be funny. Okay. Okay, that's strange. Okay, hold on. Heather, you still there? I think we had some complications right there. We lost her. Nah, she's probably off doing things for work, but still. Where were we at? Okay. I think I'm reading a book here, so I'm keeping it short. Well, anyways, that was kind of it about the incrimination information. No, there was way more. Wait. Let me see. It is suspected that the Zodiac had very close ties to Vallejo, most likely a resident. No shit, Sherlock. Alan attended Vallejo College. Oh, here we go. Alan attended Vallejo College. Let me see, he worked as a mechanic. Also was a teacher. Alan taught at Travis Elementary, Travis Air Force Base. Oh yeah, he was also in the military. So that kind of like goes along with the military boots and with the military boots and knowing how to use a gun. I don't know. Heather, do you own a gun?
I do not own a gun because legally I cannot have one. But there are guns in our house. My brother is a firearms instructor and was in the Navy, etc. So we've got a lot of protection in the house, just none of them are mine.
In the Navy. But that's pretty cool though. Your brother was in Army, right?
Navy.
Oh, and yeah, Army, Navy, that's one thing the same for us, but still.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I know. I live overseas. I can prove that. Okay, so you have this guy that has like a list of I can speak like 2 hours just by the list of incriminations that he has, and still he's fair enough. He's the main suspect, but he cannot be tied to anything. I can imagine how frustrating that is. And I'm still pretty much convinced that the Lake Berryessa murders, like the girl with the knife that I showed the interview with, that's not him. Definitely not.
No.
I do not believe that. So, unless, I mean, if there is like a serial killer, right, in the area, and you would like murder somebody, wouldn't it be like real cheap to blame that serial killer? I mean, that happens all the time in some cases. Well, I guess I'm talking to a wall, but no worries. We're all good. Well, I think we covered most of it, Heather. What was that?
I was asking you what you said.
Oh, what I said. Okay, I feel like I need to scream to you because you kind of sound far away, but I'm not going to. But it said, I think we covered pretty much everything. Like, not in detail specifically, but then we could be here like 2 hours later.
Right?
And we might actually do a part 2 though, because this is such a long case, but... You're right? Yep. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next one. Peace out.